Welcome to the 2019-2020 school year. We have two new assistant principals this year. Courtney Madison went on to be the principal of Elvin Hill, and Holly Laney went to Calera Intermediate to be their assistant principal, closer to home. I want to welcome Sasha Baker, who's now back with us after having taught here a while back, and Jan Curtis, who came to us from Hoover City Schools. I'm enjoying working with both of them, and I know you will too. We now have about 940 students, and I expect that number to grow with all this construction going on around us. The more the merrier. The great start to our school year began early this year when we had members of Church of the Highlands and our community come together on a serve day in July. The school looks awesome. Here's some of the things that they did. The Kindness Cafe got a facelift, painting in the entryway and in our cafeteria. Red and green blocks were painted for our lunch tables. Bathrooms were painted with inspirational messages on the stall doors and hooks to hang lunch boxes and jackets. Shade structures for our playground, both of our playgrounds. Fence around one of the playgrounds for safety. New mulch was spread on each playground. There were paws painted on our track. Foursquare was painted on the track blacktop. Basketball lines were painted outside too. Shelving was built in our lost and found closet. Also, as a reminder, the lost and found, make sure you put your child's name in each of their items so we can return them to the owner and they don't end up in the lost and found closet. We also are having curtains made for our cafeteria. All of this is amazing, and I'm so grateful. We definitely are continuing to be the difference. Great things are planned for this year, and this is how we communicate those things. We have our school website, we have Facebook, Twitter, Blackboard, Listserv, and our teachers have a weekly newsletter. Our PTO funds and how they're being used. In the past few years, we've added playground mulch, restriping the gym floor. We've replaced mats at the entrance and had a logo mat created. We created our track. We bought technology for all of our teachers, and we replaced or purchased a slide that was broken on the back playground. With anything we do, we want to make sure these funds are focused so that the majority of our students benefit from whatever we purchase. We're going to continue with our coin drop fundraiser, which is this year begins September the 9th. There's a dress up theme each day, and there will be prizes. And in the past, when we've met our school goal, I've been duct taped, put in jail, we've worn blow up sumo suits. We've had matching tutus and hair color. Last year I was slimed. This year, one idea being thrown around is kissing a pig. Any other ideas? This year we're adding an easy fundraiser in the spring to coincide with Read Across America and March Madness. It will begin March the 2nd. On Meet the Teacher, each of you should have received a student parent handbook or at-a-glance sheet. I know that all you all don't have time to read the entire handbook, so we made it a little easier for you, but you can still access the full handbook on our school website. I'm going to go over a few of those things. Transportation changes, make sure you send a note with your child with those changes. Otherwise, they're going to be going home their normal way, whatever you put on that orange transportation sheet. Email is not accepted. A lot of times teachers don't check their email at a time when you send it, and so they may go home the wrong way, and we don't want that to happen. So we will not accept email excuses at all. Safety and carpool, we have our new SRO officer. Officer Trawick retired last year, so we have Officer Jeff Murphy every day. And carpool, please pull all the way up as far as when the teacher is out there, and wait for an adult to come outside before your child gets out of the car. It's a safety issue, and I know we let kids out of the car at 7 o'clock, but that's 7 o'clock our time, and I know your clocks may not match up to ours, but that's what we go on. So don't let your child out of the car until you see an adult come out there and wave them on in. We need to have supervision. They can't be out. We also have before school care from 6:30 to 7 for $3 a day if you need that. Buses, your child is not going to be allowed to ride a bus other than the one that they are assigned to. Attendance. The state is still continuing to focus on this, and it's part of our school report card. After 5 unexcused absences, a truancy referral will be made to early warning court. And there are no more than 10 parent notes that are allowed this year. You must have a doctor's excuse after that. So the best thing to do is whenever your child goes to the doctor, make sure you get a doctor's note. So when you do have to use a parent note, it won't accumulate. Tardies to school and excessive unexcused check-ins or check-outs should not exceed more than 2 per month. Tardies. School begins at 7:45. Make sure your child arrives in plenty of time to reach his classroom. Students are dismissed to their classrooms at 7:30. Breakfast is served from 7 to 7:30, and the Pledge of Allegiance and announcements begin at 7:45. Please allow for traffic and plan accordingly. You know we have those trains. Pre-approved absences. The form is on the HIS website, and you can also get one at the front office. Make every effort to plan your vacation trips when school is not in session. I will not excuse vacation trips. I know there are special circumstances that don't fall into this category, but if your trip is unexcused, your child will not be penalized and will be allowed to make up any missed assignments. School attendance is a priority in order for your child to be successful. One thing I will excuse is if your child has a competition or a sibling has a competition, baseball, gymnastics, scouts, I'll approve only 2 days for the year. I know a lot of you like to go, when they go to these competitions, it's in Orlando, and I don't blame you for extending it to make it a little vacation, but I will only excuse two of those days. Otherwise, and all the other days are going to be unexcused. A parent had a question about iNow access, so I added that. Over the last year or two, elementary families have had access to your child's grades and or attendance. Middle and high have had it longer. If you have an older child and have access iNow for grades and attendance, your other children will be attached to that account. So there's nothing that you need to do. If not, you'll be given a code to access this information. It should have come home in your child's folder recently, your Friday folder. If you have any questions about this, you may reach out to the registrar if you did not receive it, or if you have questions on how to set it up. This will come in handy when you have a question if your doctor's excuse or parent's note has been entered. If not, it will be an unexcused absence. Maybe your child forgot to return it in, or it was lost, or you forgot to write a note. You have 3 days to turn in that excuse. You can also stay on top of your child's grades and address your concerns with your child or your child's teacher in a timely manner. If your children forget things in the morning, if they forget something, they will not be allowed to call for it unless it's a change of clothes, like a dress code violation, and there's no calling for homework or Kona Ice money. And most of you all probably have the prepaid Kona Ice, but you have to remember to bring that in if you didn't. All right, if they forget things in the afternoon, you get home and they forgot their homework. If you get to school before 3:45, you'll be able to get inside the building, and an administrator will escort your child to the classroom to get whatever they left in the classroom. If an administrator is not available, then they won't be able to access their classroom because the custodians can't be taken away from their job and the secretary can't get away from the desk. BYOD, bring your own device. Students are allowed to bring their e-readers and tablets to school and utilize them in the morning before school and at appropriate times in the classroom, as long as the teacher has decided it's okay, only after you've signed the BYOD policy. Cell phones are allowed, but they need to be turned off and in your child's backpack while they're at school. iPods are never allowed at school. And one thing that we're seeing is these iWatches. They have the same rules as cell phones. They are a communication device. They may not be used during the school day. Handbook says wearable devices are not allowed, and that is a wearable device. If they can send or receive text or phone calls or access the internet, it is not allowed at school. They can have it in their backpack and turned off, but they can't wear them at school. Dress code. Flip-flops are not allowed. They need to have a strap around the heel so they're secure to your foot. Shorts need to be mid-thigh, and I know a lot of students have grown over the summer, so I've seen a little bit of short shorts, but make sure that they are wearing long enough shorts. Leggings are fine as long as the outer garment is mid-thigh, both in the front and the back. But no t-shirts are allowed with leggings, no matter what the length. It doesn't even matter if the t-shirt is at your knees. T-shirts are not allowed with leggings. So it needs to be a dress or a tunic top that's long enough. Students can't have their straps showing on the tops, no razorback, halter tops, bareback. No toys can be brought to school. They need to have tennis shoes for PE. Best thing to do is to wear their shoes to PE, because sometimes it can become a hassle if they have to change their shoes before PE or change back into their cute little shoes after PE. It wastes a lot of instruction time. So the best thing to do is to wear those shoes that they can wear to PE all day long. And plus, it's great for the playground too. No holes or slits above the mid-thigh are allowed. Now, I know that holes in jeans are in style right now, but if there's holes above the knee, then they are not to be worn to school. Lunchroom. Outside food is allowed, but only for your child. You can't bring it for your child and their friend too, but no carbonated beverages are allowed. No birthday snacks can be brought to school, like cupcakes, because we celebrate birthdays each month in the cafeteria. They get to pick out a popsicle, and they sit at a special birthday table, and we announce their names on the intercom. So we celebrate. Conferences, or if you have a concern about something that has happened in the classroom or a homework assignment or anything, please contact the child's teacher first. Give your child's teacher a chance to address it. Have you seen on Facebook where it says if you only believe half of what your child tells you about school, we'll only believe half of what they tell us about home? Please don't jump to conclusions. Ask the teacher to clarify first. Then, if you don't feel like something's been addressed or you are still concerned, then you can come to one of the administrators and we can come together and try to figure something out. One last thing. It's okay to let your child struggle or make mistakes. I posted an article on our school Facebook recently. Students need to struggle in order to learn. We all make mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers. If we come to their rescue every time they make a mistake or have a hard time figuring something out, they won't learn how to problem solve or gain independence and confidence and perseverance. Sometimes it's hard to see your child upset because they did something wrong or struggle with an assignment. Give them time. They'll probably eventually figure it out and will remember it better the next time. They have to learn sometimes and learning the hard way sometimes is the best education. They need to also know that there are consequences to their actions. Thank you for entrusting your child to us. Now I'm going to turn it over to your child's teacher. Have a great year.